For the first part of this problem, we are factoring 16x to the power 4 minus 81. How are we going to factor this? Well, it's an example of a difference of squares. So let's start by creating our two sets of brackets. And what goes in front of those brackets is the square root of our first term. So the square root of 16x to the power 4 would be 4x squared. All right, and now one of these is going to be added and one will be subtracted. And then the second term is the square root of our second term here. The square root of 81 is 9. So we're going to have 4x squared plus 9 and 4x squared minus 9. Now, we're actually not quite done because, once again, we have another difference of squares, 4x squared minus 9. So we can factor that a little bit further. Keep in mind, though, that 4x squared plus 9 is not a difference of squares because it's addition, not subtraction, so that cannot be factored any further. But we can definitely factor 4x squared minus 9. That's going to be 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 3. All right, with that done, let's take a look at the second part of the question here. Sarah graphed the polynomial and stated that all the roots of it are real. Is Sarah correct? And explain your reasoning. So to figure that out, we actually need to calculate the roots, and we do that by setting this equal to 0, which means we set each of these individual factors equal to 0 and solve for x. Over here, if we set 2x plus 3 equal to 0, we would get that x equals negative 3 over 2. And if 2x minus 3 was equal to 0, we would get x equals positive 3 over 2. Now, those are definitely both real numbers, but let's check the last one here. 4x squared plus 9, if we set that equal to 0 and solve for x, let's kind of work that out here. First, we would subtract 9 from both sides to get 4x squared equals negative 9. Next, we can divide by 4 to get x squared equals negative 9 over 4. And now we need to square root both sides to isolate x. Now, but we need to square root a negative number here, which means we are indeed going to get an imaginary number. So how we can do this is we can think of negative 9 over 4 as the same thing as negative 1 multiplied by positive 9 over 4. So now when we square root both sides like this, we will get that x is equal to, now we can square root positive 9 over 4 to get 3 over 2, but remember, because we are square rooting it, it could be positive or negative. And then it's going to be positive or negative 3 over 2i. And I'm getting that I because we are square rooting negative 1. So to wrap up, we can conclude with the statement that no, Sarah is not correct. I calculated that plus or minus 3 over 2i are roots, which are not real numbers. All right, that's all, and thanks for visiting JD's Preparation.